Hello everyone, this here is the LEGO City Stuntz 2022 Chimpanzee Smash Stunt Loop set. I bought this for $70 US and built it live over on Twitch. This comes with 3 minifigures and one of the Stuntz motorcycle. It's the exact same type of design for the chassis. It's flywheel based, so I'll show you this a little bit more closely later, but it's mostly the same as the first generation ones, just with a new for 2022 top piece on it. We'll look at the minifigures closer in a minute. This is just a small side build to give you a little bit of guardrail for a couple of spectators to stand behind to watch the show. The main thing though is about the loop and the brand new loop pieces. There are 2 of this ramp transition piece, which is molded in, as you can see, the regular trans orange. These 2 are connected side to side with a couple of Technic pins in there. And then each of these is also connected to the next segment in the track with 2 Technic pins. And this segment here, I need you to see how this is actually shifted there. So there's no stress, there's no physical twist in here. This is very hard material, but there's a shift in every single one of these. There are 8 of these that go around to form the loop to take us down to the other side, and then it just transitions back in. For the ground transition from the ground itself, this is a piece, this small ramp transition piece down here was introduced last year with the beginning of the Stuntz theme as something to transition to that ramp piece right there, which was previously used simply for jumps. But what we're doing here is trying to have a bike come along to this, go all the way through a full loop, go all the way around, out to the other side. Let's look at that from the other side. This is just an orange colored small 8x16 road plate and a little bit of decoration on the side. The main ramp here goes off to what's supposed to be a cartoon representation of a chimpanzee. Does not look like a chimpanzee. To me, it all looks more like a gorilla, especially with the hands that are supposed to smash. The idea is that your bike is going to ride off this ramp. It's going to hit this, and if it just touches it a little bit, it's going to make something happen. It's going to make that happen. So, he's going to be mad. He's going to come crashing down and might break some of the wall on the side. So it doesn't take too much force to make that fall down. It's balanced up pretty decently. It has a very simple mechanism in there. It was not difficult to put together. Really does not look good from the sides, but honestly, it doesn't need to, in my opinion. It doesn't need to look particularly good. It just needs to work. And it does. It does work. I'll show you the demonstration very, very shortly. I do want to point out the medium azure color for the 1x2 plate with rounded sides. And then this right here with the eyes, that's a print because a motorcycle may be hitting that and they didn't want permanent damage to occur. It's much more durable to have it as a print rather than a sticker. But these here are stickers. So to represent the fingers, they use just 2 stickers, one for each hand. And that's it. This stunt bike is in the bright spring green color, and the mold represents an airplane of sorts. It even has the small propeller. It's not able to spin freely, but that same piece that we got some years ago originally, a lot of it in yellow, and finally they brought it out in black, thankfully. So that's just that. There's no printing on here or anything. And if you're not familiar with the Stuntz bikes, again, they are just flywheel based. So small flywheel right inside of there, extra small rear tire, just how the physics had to work out for it. But once you do like that, it'll just try to keep going for a while. Here's some footage of me playing with this thing and testing it out live in front of my Twitch audience right after building this thing live over there. I found that it works best if there's no rider on the motorcycle. Oddly enough, it was much more difficult to get a nice consistent run or set of runs with the rider in place. Also, it didn't take too long to figure out that you cannot approach the initial ramp head on. You have to hit it at an angle a little bit, otherwise you're probably not going to have success. Now, it did have some interesting moments where it did multiple loops. Somehow I was able to turn and continue going through that loop, even though there's a twist to it, which kind of doesn't make sense, but I could see how it was possible. It just seemed highly, highly unlikely, but it can be done. That seems like the thing to chase. That's the coolest thing I think that you can do with this, because honestly, when it does the loop, it's not that satisfying to me personally, and I did find it to be a little bit frustrating finding the exact spot to hit it, the exact angle and the right speed and everything. It works okay, just not great. Now, of course, it is Lego, so reconfiguring is always an option, but honestly, there's not a whole lot of option for reconfiguring here because the main thing that you can do is just that. Does that work? I mean, that leaves a little bit of, that doesn't work so well. What they actually suggest on the box is that you do this, and because there is going to be a little rough area, you put that at the beginning. So typically the motorcycle is going to jump just slightly over that little bit of rough gap in there, land back on the flat surface, and that'll allow you to go over this jump here just directly. And it's a lot easier to line that up. Oh, another thing when I was testing it, I found was if you use the wall elements on the side, those will actually trip up the bike frequently and cause it to not complete the jump. So if you have trouble with it, I recommend just leaving those out. They don't do that much, but also if you want a little bit more skill to be required, a little bit more luck to be required, in other words, you want less success, then do put those up there. But see, with this, now, what do I do with this? There's no transition to this, so that doesn't really work. These are the 3 included minifigures. Got the stunt rider over here. Nice return of the banana shirt underneath the plaid jacket there, although still not printed well. That white is like weak. Lego can do better. I appreciate that they included a pair of the prop gloves there you could have picked up at the fair where this is being set up rather than just one of them. Good hairpiece to get, good headgear piece for this figure as well, looking underneath there. Alternate face, that's a good one. Alternate face for this one as well, just doesn't do quite as much, but basically you have the glasses on and off. And also there is an alternate headgear piece included for this figure over here. So if I take this off altogether, the full breathing apparatus, now she can just be normal. The spare parts look something like this, and the sticker sheet had just 2 things on it. Looking at price and value, the thing that stands out most to me is the fact that this is $70 US, but 55 euros. And the euro and the dollar are pretty dang close, so there's a major discrepancy there. Looking at this at 55 euros, it's okay. I mean, the whole thing just feels a little bit lacking to me. It does have its basic functionality. It does take a lot of largish pieces to make that basic functionality work, but then the functionality that is there, it's a little bit frustrating to me. I kind of feel like this needs more. I don't know. Something feels a little bit lacking to me. Maybe it's even this bike that I thought I would like a lot. I don't like it in this color or something. There's just not enough excitement to this. But then when I look at it from a $70 US perspective, well, it's the same thing. I feel exactly the same way, just that, it's like almost $15 more that we have to pay over here. And then, folks obviously in other places that have to pay even more have to pay even more. So yeah, I'm honestly, overall, I don't feel crazy mad about the price, even at the $70 range for this amount of stuff. I don't feel that mad. I'm not that excited about the thing. That's really what holds most of my thoughts about this, most of my thoughts and my feelings about it. I wish that it was more fun. I simply wish that it was more fun. When you get that double loop going, it's really, really shocking and surprising. But the main pattern, the main play pattern that you're looking for here, that you're going for here, I don't know, it just doesn't do that much for me. And I don't know exactly why that is, because I've always liked stuff like this from a toy perspective. Whether it was freewheeling thing, the old trains, old Tyco trains that could do a loop. It was, wild, it was slot cars. But this Hot Wheels do it, diecast do it. This, not so much. The other one thing that I did not cover in this is that these pieces do get scuffed up. They are going to take some damage over time. Some folks are really going to be unhappy about that. I personally, I'm okay with that because, it's hard play, and pieces of plastic are going to get scuffed up with hard play. I'm okay with that. I don't think that is a major issue here. To get this to be truly scuff proof would have required going back to polycarbonate and probably even farther than that, because even Lexan can get scratched with hard use. So no worries there. Just overall, this is kind of a meh set to me. Those are just my thoughts though. Feel free to disagree. Hope that this was of some value in helping you to come to your own conclusions, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now.